Happy Saturday from beautiful Manhattan, Kansas, everybody. It's our Saturday morning walk around. We didn't do one last week, so we thought we'd do a little walk around on the progress. If you've followed us on Facebook, Flint Hills Square Bodies on Instagram and Facebook, posted some pictures of this 1976 Spirit of 76. A lot of people question it because it's red, but they did make them in red. Not very many of them. They're usually blue and white or blue and light blue or some other variants of blue, but this one is definitely red. It's a one family owned. It was bought as a farm truck and used as such until about 92 or so, when it met its demise across the field and bent the frame. So we actually put a frame under it, and it sat for about 25-30 years. And now we're restoring it, and we're on the downhill. Dakota Digital. This, for some reason, my wipers aren't working, so I've got to trace that, which, if anybody's restored a truck or a vehicle, you know there's little gremlins you got to squish out as you're going along. We got all the HVAC in it yesterday. There's the new control head. I've got to get that all put in. Got the seat put in it yesterday. This seat was done by Get Stitched Upholstery. The fabric was from SMS Fabrics, Auto Fabrics, up in, I believe it's Oregon. Somewhere in the Northwest region. But, and then he did the rest, and it looks absolutely fabulous. Gonna bolt it down this morning. Seat belts, those are originals. Those were done by 73 to 87 Seatbelt Restorations by Tina King up in Ohio. These two things were done a couple of years ago. A lot of the stuff I had done as we were progressing and before we initially started, just to get a jump start on reassembly. So when it was time to go back together, I wasn't waiting on people and stuff to get done. So the body work, I didn't do the body work. I spent half my life in a body shop. I don't want to breathe it, smell it, all that. Norm Hartman in Abilene, Kansas, about 45 minutes from here. He's still got the bed, the hood, the tailgate, and next week it's going back to get all that put on, and so he can fix a couple little things and cut and buff it, which it's already been cut and buffed, but there's a couple, shrinkage problems and stuff like that, places I've accidentally nicked and stuff. But truck's a little dusty right now, but you can see just in the picture, he did an amazing job. Front tires are off because I had to get up in the wheel wells, loom all the wiring. I still got to run my AC stuff. I just got it pulled through the firewall the other day. American Auto Wire wiring, but they don't offer, or they don't, when you get the kit, they didn't come with the AC wiring. So I had a really good one still from parting trucks out, and we'll clean it up, relume it, all that. But there's the AC box. A lot of people wonder if that's new. That is used, or it's not off of this truck. The one that was on it had some damage to it, but it's off of another truck. I just stripped it, cleaned it, and painted it with semi-gloss. Same as the inside box. And then, of course, all new parts. But we're getting there. Air cleaner can go back on, except for I need to run that AC wiring, like I said, and I don't want it in the way. Heater hoses are hooked up. I thought I had some clamps. I got to go get me some. Hooked up to the heater core anyway. They'll hook it up. They'll fill it with coolant. This engine was done by Top Lift here in Top Lift Machine Work here in Manhattan. On the dyno, it did right at like 350, I believe. Of course, that was with his carburetor and his probably his headers. I'm sure he used headers. So it'll be choked down a little bit, but it's still a lot more than what the 175 horsepower that it came out with. Roller motor, looks all stock, but it's got a lot of great internals. So it'll be plenty for what this truck's gonna be used for. Original 350 transmission has been rebuilt by a friend of mine, Kit Veal, in also Abilene, Kansas. That's actually my hometown. So you can see the steering shaft's different. They don't offer a factory style steering shaft. They offer one with a little CV joint in there, which is fine. I have a ton of steering shafts, but all of them had some issue, and I wasn't going to use them on something like this. So red head steering gear. I just filled up power steering fluid the other day. Big 4-core radiator, which this came out with a little one. Even though they have heavy duty brakes, heavy duty cooling, they still had that radiator that it came down. And so since this thing will probably be a parade queen and all that, I have a lot of these originals. I just had them record, fixed, whatever. Had them checked, pressure tested, leaks fixed. And then, so that's why it looks a little rough. That is original. Got that on there. And then the grill's out of it because I gotta get my AC lines and everything all secured. But all powder coating done on the frame by MTS here in Manhattan, Kansas. We probably have $5,000 to $6,000 just in powder coating, I would guess. I'd have to go back to the receipts. And then when Norm painted it, we also did bed liner of the same color underneath. So if you look underneath it, you can see it looks just as good underneath as it does on top. So there's some touching up and stuff which goes along with it. So just a really, really cool, nice truck. Both fuel tanks. Steve wanted to run both fuel tanks. So we got those all wired, hooked up to accommodate with the Dakota Digital, which I showed you guys earlier. So that's the Retro RTX series. You can see it's got that original look to it. So brand new sun visors that we painted the correct white. The door panels are actually going to be white also. I just haven't done those yet. So the Spirit of 76, blue carpet, red, white, and blue seat, white visors, white door panels, blue trim, blue seat belts. Just a cool combination, especially with the red. Everything just pops. Original tilt steering column that was rebuilt by my brother Mike, also in Abilene, Kansas. So he does all my steering columns for me. Does a great job. We have an original steering wheel, just obviously haven't got it put on yet. I don't want it in the way. But there's the grill. So this grill, I can't remember where we got this. I don't remember if we got this from LMC, Classic Industries. It doesn't really matter. But it's a very, very nice grill for those of you out there. It's upside down right now. But so this grill is authorized GM restoration, as is the 350 badge, as is the emblem. So some of you that don't necessarily like to use aftermarket, if it says GM restoration on it, then personally I'm fine with it because they authorized, you know, that part's going to be great and be able to be used in a restoration. So anyway, dual exhaust, that is from LMC. This truck actually came with single exhaust. It was a 350 truck, but I ran LMC dual exhaust, and then I used from a different truck the brackets for a dual exhaust truck, so it would look factory. I did have to use that little hanger there because I couldn't make it work with the way this exhaust is ran. But once the bed's on it, you'll never see that. Don't know if that's the right way, the wrong way, but that's the way I did it, and it works, and it looks good. AC Delco shocks. This thing had, since it was a heavy half, it had the longer springs in it. There's no need for those anymore, and so we ran the shorter springs with the less spring pack. That will let it sit down a little bit instead of sit high in the rear. 255/70 15 Cooper Cobras on rally wheels, 15x8s, which have been reconditioned. NOS rings. But this would have had cut hubcaps on it, which in my opinion are horrible looking. Of course, the hubcaps were all beat to crap. So rallies just give it that timeless look anyway. But here's the other side. This is a Bonanza. It's a Scottsdale package with the Bonanza. Or excuse me, a Scottsdale with the Bonanza package. All Spirit of 76s were Scottsdale Bonanzas. So it, don't mind my wires hanging down there, but this is no spray can frame on the frame job. You can see it's clean. CPP spindles. With stock. I mean, the things, you know, we wanted to go back to stock as much as we can with some monitored amenities, hence the Dakota Digital, American Auto Wire, stuff like that. But just a great looking truck. This truck will debut at C10s in the Park in Waxahachie, Texas. Terry Hill and crew do an awesome job. This will be our 3rd year of going. And every year we've taken something. The first year we went, we left the truck down there. A guy bought it, but this one is not for sale. Anyway, just want to do a little walk around. Show everybody that's a step bumper for the rear, or not a step bumper. I'm sorry, the bumper that matches the front, the LMC Premium. Which we spent a lot of money with LMC, among other vendors. And I know everybody does their best on stuff. And LMC is just 2 hours from me. I can call them, get 10% off, don't have to pay shipping, you know, because they're in Lenexa, Kansas. And so that's why I use them a lot, because shipping has just gotten so crazy. And we use their premium front bumper. And, I mean, it fits good, but I'm just not 100%. I don't know if you can see that there. That's my smudges, but where they had the plastic laying on it, it kind of left some marks, residue. So when Norm is polishing this truck, I'm going to have him see if he can't do something with that bumper. And if it doesn't come around, then I'll call LMC up and have them send me another one. But especially for as expensive as the bumpers are. But this had a single... Also, this had a single, just a solid glass in it. And for comfort and convenience, we put the slider in there, but it's a 3-pane slider. Or excuse me, a 1-pane slider. 3, 1, 2, 3. But just gives it a cleaner look than the 4 windows. My buddy Chad, Brian, ordered the glass, and we got that put in along with the windshield. So, all new glass. That is LMC glass. Wing windows were done by Precision about 2 years ago. They do an amazing job. You send them your wing windows and they put new glass in it, tinted glass. They put the locking latches in it, all new rubbers. But there's some other people out there doing them. I think Scott Odell, and I didn't know about him at the time when I did the Precision. So, but I think what else? But yeah, just a really cool truck. It'll debut at, it will actually be parked at Square Body USA booth tent. Mark does a great job there too, and he let us park there the first year we were there. And so I messaged him last night and said, hey man, do you care if we park this truck there? I think it would go great with, especially being the colors that it is, and he's got the red, white, and blue colors, Square Body USA, obviously. So it'll be awesome. Really looking forward to it. It's a great time. If you've never been, suggest going. Waxahachie is a beautiful town. But anyway, hopefully next time we do a video on this truck, it'll have the bed on it, hood on it, and about another good day of checking everything. And I want to replace the transmission pan. I don't like the one that's on it. It's the original, so it's got its dents and dings. So I got a new one for that. But as soon as all that's done, fluids are filled, it'll start up. And I know it'll start because it ran on the dyno. So, but that's your Saturday morning walk around. We still got the K5 hanging in limbo. And then I've got a gentleman coming. He said he'd be here in about 30 minutes for this truck. If you've stayed along this far in the video, please like, share, subscribe. We try to be regular on our stuff, but this is an 85 K10. Somebody's put a 350 in it, got rid of the 305. I've sold some parts off of it, but he's going to use a complete drivetrain for his K5 Blazer, which would be perfect for that. 350. He wants to change it to a 350 700 R4. I think his Blazer was a diesel, so he can use all of this vacuum and get rid of his Hydro Boost. But this was a running, driving truck until the gentleman passed away, and then it sat for several years, and then I bought it basically rescued it because it would have been crushed, parted out and crushed. So now it's going to live on, and even though I did use some parts off of it, it's going to live on in some form or fashion. The cab's not bad, the bed's junk, but if you can't save them, you can at least let them live on in other forms of vehicles. And then stay tuned, be looking for this one. This is that 72 short bed. It's on the trailer because we're getting ready to, it's a lot easier for me anyway to disassemble the front suspension, all that on my trailer. And then I can get it to my buddy Chase and he can start hacking and cutting it up, because we are putting a ton of Tinworks stuff in it. All that stuff there. LS cross members, C notches, the cross member in the rear for the trailing arms, and so I can run exhaust through it. But this will be next after that one. But if you can see all that stuff there, that's the bed and the cab, and I got another cab so we can use the roof off of it. The same gentleman that does the body work on this one is going to be doing that one. So it's going to be a very, very awesome truck. Excited for that one. But thanks for watching along. If you came this far, appreciate it. I try to get them out as regular as I can. Try to get some more interesting content for you guys. I just I've been really putting my nose to the grindstone on this truck. So I really haven't even been going and getting any trucks or anything like that. But check out that seat one more time. And those seat belts. 1976 seat belts. They look brand new. All right, everybody. Thanks. Like, share, subscribe. I'll post this on YouTube and Facebook. But hope everybody has a great weekend. And we will see you on the next one.